we call him. He's got a tractor with a massive pump on the back. Here he comes.
All right, now let's see. Oh, still feathering it. I'm wondering if, because there was no need to feather that early up that start chute, wondering if it's just a minor miss in that boat there.
No, I think it's. I think he's just not quite come to grips with it. He thinks Scotty's actually an ex-drift car driver, so I think there's a lot of feathering going on that, and I think he's bringing that through to the sport at the moment. So I'll have to have a bit of a yak with him, but he's just doing a bit of revving, and I can certainly see or hear a bit of drift car driving in it.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, now that you've mentioned that, that does make a fair bit of sense. Because, well, I'll tell you what, at least he's got himself into a sport that shows a bit of skill, hey.
I'll tell you what, he did a great job with the hairpin there, no feathering at all. Got out of there with a bloody bandit on a string, but we won't get too carried away with that one. So. Coming home, 2 quarters to go. Here he comes.
Yeah, look, a little bit of smoke coming out of that breather, and still a little bit of smoke trailing out of the engine bay there. Seems to have cleared up through there, but Scotty Andrews with a time of 59.835, and he'll be very happy with that, considering that's his 4th ever run on a racetrack proper.
No, he's been very solid. I've got to take your hat off to someone who's turned up here today, learned the rotation, never been out. You get those big shutters, you're coming out of the gate for the first time, see all the people up on the hill. You know, you think everyone's watching me. I don't even know if I can drive a boat. Am I going to get round? So he's got round 4. He hasn't walked away with his pants down. So good on you, Scotty. Take your hat off so far.
Yeah, fantastic effort. All right, Lockie McMillan now, the man who, well, he didn't start very well that time. Last time out, he stuck the boat up on the dirt in quite spectacular fashion. I had a very brief chat to him during the lunch break. I said, what are you going to do? He said, oh, I'm just going to try and keep the boat in the water next time. So, you know, and that's a really good way to think about it. The simplistic way is usually the best way. Don't overthink it.
I love the name of the boat. Oh, he's got into it there.
Oh, jeez, I'll tell you what, he went wide there. He's up, he's done it, he's spun around.
He's away again.
Oh, he's off. I'll tell you what a recovery. Lockie McMillan, take a bow and continue on. The rotation is now correct. The lap continues.
We got the hairpin to go. This could be even better. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah. One chance. He's already had 3 during this lap.
He's like a cat with 9 chances. Well, so here he comes. He's not too sure.
Oh, no, he's bugging it up. He's up, he's out, he's in, he's done. No, he's still going.
Here we go.
I'll tell you what, that bloke has got more lives than a cat, and I'll tell you what, he's had more chances than one. He came back more times than bloody John Howard did during his prime ministership in Australia.
I think the only reason he stopped out here, Cave, is because he's out of gas. He could be wrong. Oh, no, we found some life in the hole. Here we go.
Oh, wow, I tell you what. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Lockie McMillan from Fowler Homes. He's going to be one to watch in years to come.
We've got to take Lockie to Bay Park. He's worth a thrill every minute, and that's the man that put the 200 little boats on for the kids out there. There's no doubt about it. He puts his heart and soul into it, and I think he puts his sand shoes in as well. The whole lot's
Now, I could hear those little boats. I didn't get a chance to see them. Every time I went over there wasn't one in the water. Did you get a chance to have a look at them?
I did, mate. There was all sorts of bloody little boats whizzing on out there. In fact, the crowd, I couldn't believe how many people were out there. So
yeah.
It was great to see. So, you know, good to see everyone supporting the boats out the pits and all the teams putting on posters and sort of the crowd getting around saying g'day to all their friends and locals and people they know. So good on you. And hopefully we've got some new fellow sprinters out there sitting in the crowd keen to be involved. So come down here and check it all out. If you want to see anyone, check out the program. Go to jetsprint.co.nz if you want to get any other information and join a wonderful sport that we've got here.
Again, Leighton, here we go. Lockie just doing a little bit of, we're seeing the replay on the big screen here, of course. He's, well, I'll tell you what, he's hit just about every island out there. He must have thought it was a Whit Sundays. He's just going to visit everything out there on the way through. Maybe he needed Richard Murray's deck chair.
Yeah, that was more hits than than Elvis Presley's greatest hits, that run there. That was an absolute fantastic show and had us really on our seats edge. Not that we've got any seats up here, but we're on the commentary tower.
Well, they are, because we do have the seats up here, but the racing's so good you just can't sit down. I don't know how everybody up on the hill is actually managing to sit down, because as soon as these boats get into this part of the day, the adrenaline for me starts kicking in, and you know, all of a sudden there's no way you can sit down.
We're only a Qual 4, but yeah, great stuff. Lockie McMillan, write that name down, keep an eye out. The boat's one chance, and it's had 9 or 10 chances today, so keep an eye out.
Now, we'll just go to Matt Manell here. Matt, do we have, has Lockie McMillan completed a time? All right, we'll go to Julia Murray. Has Lockie McMillan completed a time there, Julia? He has posted a time, so theoretically he can qualify. Yep, he's going to struggle to get into that top 9, though.
He's probably less than one chance, but hey, get on him.
No, well, that's it. Even though he's had a bit of a rough day on the track during that lunch break when I was having a chat to him, he was just so upbeat and so positive. And we've got some boats just been bought up here by Fowler Homes and some giveaways. So the next time we have a bit of a break, we will go down, we'll let you kids know, and we'll do a little bit of a competition and see who can win what. So, and look, we've got this pre-planned, so nothing's planned. Yeah,
we'll wing it.
Yeah, well, as we do. Geez, I'll tell you what, the graphics for the best tasting toothpaste in the world is looking good. I haven't had a go of the mint stripe toothpaste though, but I'll have to get onto that.
Very, very nice actually. We've got some at home. Some of the old Rob's super stripe. You're right. The big screen with the Stinger boats up there now, guys. I mean, Stinger now New Plymouth bred boats and built boats. So keep an eye out for those. Visit Wanganui.
Well, I'll tell you what a great town this is, and I love coming here each and every time. This town, when I wander around here, people say g'day, and you know, I'll tell you, Leighton, it's terrible for having a beer, this place.
Yeah, because you're terrible at having them. Okay, here we go. Let's carry on. We've got Ray Ferg and Nicky Ferguson. This will be a good little light-up. He's been warming up and getting better all day, so keep an eye out on Ray. New boat. This is only his about 4th going up, so here he goes.
So for Westview Aluminium, Ray Ferguson from Lower Hutt. His wife, Nikki Ferguson, sitting in alongside him in the silly seat. The hull is a Sprint Tech, the Scott 8.5-inch jet unit. And, wow, the bodyworks paint panel and engine dynamics, Ray Ferg looking great. Really wide out of there, but didn't wash off any speed. Didn't panic when he got close to that island either.
This is a good-looking run. I had a great yak with Ray at lunchtime, and he said to me, I'm going to put the hammer down after lunch, and I'll tell you what, he's done all but that. Got a little bit of catch-up there to get down to caught a few crabs coming out of the old pole, but here he comes down through the flip-flop. If he can get down through this flip-flop, come out of here tidy and get up the top end of the track, I think we're on to a really fast.
Yeah, look, this is going to be Ray Ferg's best time if he can just hold it together through the latter part of this lap. Well, a little bit wobbly up the top there, might hit a little bit of crosswash up there. Ray Ferguson. We'll get back to you with the time on that.
Yeah, we didn't have anything come up there. That was certainly, he was in the 54 club earlier on. There was a whole pile of them, so yeah, we're just waiting for something to come up now.
Ray Ferguson, a 53.770.
Oh, great run, 53.770, and that is his best time of the day.
It is. He'll be very happy with that. He's just broken that 54 club I talked about. There was 5 boats stuck in there. So, hey, he's found a little bit more pedal, a bit more jandle. Put a new set of jandles on maybe in the break, not too sure.
Yeah, whatever he's done well. As Uncle Tony Reid fires the boat out of the start chute. Andrew Bakey doing the navigational duties in the Excalibur boat. Well, geez, I tell you, he is shaving. That's worm burner stuff on the inside of the big centre island.
Great Uncle Tony, sponsored by Shifty's Bar and Grill in the Naki, and no better place than Great Uncle Tony. I'm sure he frequents there quite often.
Well, as we know, Uncle Tony frequents a lot of establishments, some of which we can't mention. And Bakey doing his best in the navigation seat. Oh, Uncle Tony, very wide, but he managed to get away with it. I thought for sure that was all over.
I did too. I thought that was it for him. I thought Andrew might have been that bit of, hang on, wrong way.
Oh, no.
Great Uncle Tony's had one too many. He's going to have to loop the loop.
Yeah, now he should have gone left instead of right. Now he's in all sorts of trouble. He's got to come right down to the far side of the track, make his way back up to the top end of the track, work out where he went wrong. So turn right here, Uncle Tony. Turn left, Uncle Tony. Left again. No, Uncle Tony.
Yeah.
Take it home, mate. Park it up on the trailer and have a good hard look at yourself. Get some Viagra eye drops if you need to.
Tony's not going to have much of a bony after that one, mate. He's just going to go back to the trailer.
Yeah, absolutely. I always thought a hangover was an event in itself, mate, but working with you turns out that that's an event in itself. All right.
Here we go. We're moving on. The Teasdales.
Yeah, Clayton and Mandy Tisdall all the way from Tapanui on the South Island. And the excavator operator is Clayton Tisdall and Mandy Tisdall, the teacher. The boat is getting sighted. The engine is a Brian Kelly special. And I must say I haven't seen Brian Kelly thus far in the pits today, but you never know, he could be lurking around. If not, we see him online. G'day to Mel Clooney, watching from up north as well. So, geez, I tell you what, I love the way that this jet speed is just handling on the water at the moment.
Nah, this is a great start. This would have to be one of Clayton's best starts. Very smooth, very fast. And like you say, Brian Kelly builds a beautiful engine. Oh, out wide there, but lovely.
I'd say Clayton Tisdall is likely to be sort of smiling that hard to himself about nailing that hairpin. I could just about see the mouth fresh smile from here.
I think you find we might have another man chasing the 53 club here, and old Ray thought he got a bit on him, but here we go, cross the line.
Oh, into P2, so Ray Ferg still quicker. Clayton and Mandy with a 54.032, only by a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. A bit smaller than a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. I nearly went non-PC and non-GA rated as well.
Is that Jim's mowing I can see coming off? Oh,
yeah.
Phil Dick. It is Phil Dick, the biggest lawnmower we've seen for a while. He's coming out. He's great. Here he goes.
Now, when I spoke to Phil during the lunch break, I said, mate, you're looking a lot better out there than you have for the entirety of last season. He said, mate, we've really got the boat dialed in, feeling really comfortable about it, feeling very, very confident. He said, I'm just having so much trouble trying to work out this rotation. We are having all sorts of problems.
Yeah, not a problem.
And a gutful of dirt into the jet unit.
He's going to have to empty the catcher.
Yeah, the catcher is full.
Yeah.
So disappointing run there for Phil. He was looking red hot, wasn't he?
He looked very good, and I might have put the old commentator's curse on him a little bit there, but hard luck, Phil. That was a great run till there, and he's certainly picking up the pace as he gets round. So
yeah, that's really good to see. And of course, this next man, of course, one of your local blokes, Sean and Faye Rice.
Elite Kitchens.
And tell you what, they do bloody good kitchens too. I've had a look at some of their work, and it is spectacular.
Yeah, mate, they are certainly non-stop. Here he comes. Brand new boat here today, first day out. So let's see if old Ricey's got a bit more confidence. That sounded better, stayed on the juice a little bit, come off just a touch there.
Yeah, he got himself in a bit of trouble up the top there. I think that nut tightened up on him. He's gone the wrong way.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I tell you what, with no signage on the boat, he's not giving his own sponsorship deal any extra airtime.
If he went round anymore, he's going to make me dizzy, KB, but we're out, we're back on track, and here we go. He's looking good.
He better to bury himself in a hole. But I'll tell you what, he's kept going. And all right, into this hairpin, coming to terms with this brand new engine package, and I think he has come to terms with it, let's be honest.
Yeah. No, if he brings it home tidy here, he's still going to put a respectful time on the clock, and I hope he gets through in quals. He's driven hard all day, he's got a few good times on the board, but he will be disappointed, but certainly he's getting up it now.
Yeah, this is why we've got these multiple opportunities for qualifying. If you get a wrong way, as Sean Rice has just done, hopefully his time in Q3 was good enough to make the progression to the top 9, but Sean Rice way down the list there, P5 at the moment, of course, with Phil Dick and Lockie McMillan not available due to a DNF. So
early on in the day, Ricey's managed to do a 57 by the look of it on the book, so he might go close to making that top 9 still with that. So all the best of luck to you there, Ricey. Great driving the new boat. Here's the Riddicks. Here comes old Michael Jackson with his shiny glove. Keep an eye out the big bright yellow glove of Aaron. His mitt will be right out there showing Dean the way.
Well, these guys parked it up on the beach during Q1. They've had a couple of untidy runs or untidy moments. And I dare say from this point they know it's the last opportunity, and they will need to rip one out right here to be able to progress into that top 9 From 9 we go down to 6, and from 6 we cut it down to our final 3 players. Oh, a bit of a knife moment coming across the bottom end of the track. So at the moment it is Dean Riddick behind the wheel of the open to view machine. Aaron Riddick, his brother, sitting right in alongside him, and these guys just looking sensational at the moment. The boat will be back off nice and early and got out of there beautifully.
No, he's certainly looking a lot tidier than what he was before lunch. I know they were pretty disappointed with some of the times they put on the board, and this maybe could be the nice way to come home. Big finish up here. Oh, we've got some big smoke going on.
Yeah, he's had a lot of smoke coming out of the back of that engine throughout the course of the day. So I'll tell you what, I reckon that once we get into
he's lost a piston there. He's
yep.
Yeah, she's lunched herself.
So,
you can hear her go off song, so he's dropped a couple of cylinders there, and he might as well stay off the gas pedal because he's just doing more damage there, Cavey.
Yeah, very, very frustrating end to the day for the Riddick boys. So, well, you know, look, that's racing, and unfortunately, you drop a piston, there is absolutely nothing you can do about it.
Nah, mate, that's it. Once you hear that that dreaded, it's gone. But there's nothing worse when you hear metallic behind it, because that's generally very, very costly, and there's a bit more gone.
Yep, so we'll effect the rescue of the Riddick boys. Our next boat to face the starter should be Andy Ryan in the Joker, but we will just hold off until we rescue the open-to-view machine of Dean and Aaron Riddick out on course at the moment. We'll be back in a minute.
Strap yourselves in. Here comes Andy Ryan. He was a thrill seeker last time. This guy can boogie. He won't be joking around, and the boat's called the Joker.
Yeah, Andy Ryan, during the lunch break, he just said to me, all you've done, Cavey, all day is just set me up. I said, well, mate, you're just going to have to show your true colours here, and true colours exactly what Andy Ryan is going to be producing here. He's out of that chute. Beautifully indeed. Carrie-Anne Ellen Marianne, I keep thinking Gilligan's Island. But Andy Ryan, this is looking very quick indeed. Very wide around there. Wow.
He won't be happy that Ray Ferg's just taken a second out of his time, so he'll be hunting that time. He's looking good so far. He's chucking everything on the board. A little bit. Oh, got away with that too.
Oh, gee, just a gentle tickle up on the tyres on the exit of that, throwing a whole lot of water up into commentary as the wind picks up. And of course, as the water is going across the commentary tower, to be going across the visor of the driver and navigator.
Yeah. Oh, he's back again. Hang on. He's just corrected. He has corrected. He's got it right. He went wrong and he's corrected now. He's back on track.
If we're copping water on the windows of the commentary tower, mate, I don't know that he's realised it. 61.749. 60. Oh, and he's parked it up. Andy Ryan in the Joker. I tell you what, mate, you can get around a jet sprint track fast, but when it comes to slow, you're no bloody good. All right, that is an interesting way to end the run. So Andy Ryan, I think we need to get this bloke to really concentrate after the finish line all the way back to the trailer, because as you heard if you were watching on the big screen there earlier, we did an interview with Andy a couple of years ago. He missed the trailer. After he finished the run, he parked the boat in the wrong trailer. He's hit Scruffy the tugboat in the past. He's got the, right, I finished the run, I just don't need to think anymore.
He's certainly an entertainment on a bit of tin, old Andy. Handy Andy Ryan. Today, the Joker hasn't quite finished there. He should still have done enough to get into the top 9 there, I think, earlier on, and some of his times earlier in the day were pretty quick. So with a bit of luck, Andy's managed to nudge his way through, although he wouldn't have done himself any help there.
No, not at all. And we're talking about this wind picking up, the wind as the drivers are going back in through their original course across the some of the cross washes. That spray will be affecting them, hitting them right in the eyeballs, on the visors, on the sunglasses, whatever eye protection these crews are using. That's going to make things really difficult coming into the later afternoon.
Oh, yeah, and that sun comes into play as well. And if some of these clouds blow through, it's pretty clear out the back there. So, you know, you've got that to contend as well. So lots of changing things. As the boats get quicker and the day gets quicker, so does the weather and so does the circumstances. So it does throw the mixed bag up. You can still see the 2 orange cones the guys have put in the bottom of the track here to let the guys know the water's dropped a little bit, but down by the hairpin we've got 2 witches' hats poking out there just to help the drivers, give them an idea. There's actually tyres just in below there. If you clip those, they'll grab you and you're gone. Exactly the way that we saw the Ryco boat of Stewie Latham and James Hayden. Got news from Wanganui. James Hayden is okay, just a little bit. He's just sort of moved the brain around the skull just a little bit, rattled him. I don't think it's going to do any permanent damage. I mean, I don't think it could get any worse. Now, marbles just... Yeah, the marbles just rattled around a little bit. You know, James, he's a good bloke. He's a good bloke. Couple of years, mate, he'll be right. Yeah, that's exactly right. We'll just take a short break. We'll be back in just a minute. Hey, we've got a couple of shout-outs, just getting news from Australia, from Kevy Lorgerson. Kev and Deb, g'day, how you going? Kevy, the big survivor, got touched by the big sea there, New Zealand boy racing in Australia. And I'll tell you what, it was a bit touch and go there. Kevy bouncing back beautifully, said to say g'day as we cast our eyes down to Carl Brentzel, Maroon 2, and Hamish Murray doing the navigational duties, the Tapanui boys. Yeah, that boat, he's got it trimmed up real high at the moment. The higher he trims it up, the more speed he's trying to get out of it. It's an older model Stinger, but he's really pushing it as hard as he can, and he looks good so far. Nicely out of there. Yeah, very nice in there. Didn't go too deep on that exit, so he shaved off about 5 metres of the watercourse that some of the other competitors are utilising, so taking a shortcut is always advantageous. Oh, tidy on the hairpin too. Lovely looking job. They're having a little bit of trouble with the fuel feed in this particular boat in that last qualifying run during Q3. They seem to have sorted that out. No, I think the old lunch breaks helped quite a few teams. He's certainly going to put his best time on here by the look of it. This is a great run from Carl. Yeah, into this finish line, Carl Brentzel's going to be happy with this. There is no doubt about it. Into P3 with a 55.735. Now, also a big shout out to the man who authored a book called Water Blasters, former commentator Russell Harris, well-known identity around the jet sprinting traps. He's here in the crowd and looking forward to catching up with him and having a beer later. Great stuff, Russell. Good to hear you back at the Jet Sprints, and I hope you're enjoying the day there. We'll catch up with you later on.
All right, MF King now, Harry Whelans and Jason Conroy. These guys are having a problem with a fuel surge getting up into the top end of the sweeper. They needed to sort that out. I'll tell you what, if that's any indication, they have sorted that fuel surge out, because the boat looking a lot more powerful. It's getting fed properly, so this is gaining speed.
Harry looking really good. He'd be happy he's got that water sorted. Maybe pushing a little bit too much water. He might have that boat just trimmed down just a little bit too much, I would suggest, but everything else has looked good. Motor looks good. See how it's down in the nose? Just pushing a little bit too much water. Oh, but I'd say he's on for his best time.
Wow, that was amazing around that hairpin. He turned the bow of that boat was in fact over the dirt at the peninsula of that hairpin corner. And wow. Yeah, the boat stingers traditionally sit up a little bit higher. This one really nose down at the moment. Good call, Leighton Manel.
Yeah, now here he comes, bringing it home. It's still going to be a great time. Oh, wow, 54.087.
Into P3.
He's going to be very happy with that. Still didn't knob his mate, Ray Ferguson. He's just up in front of him from Wellington. I don't know if knob his mate sounded that good, but top his mate. But anyway.
Yeah, that might be something we will avoid saying in future. But anyway, he's... no, I can't say that either, because we're going down the same path. I don't know what you're doing to me, Leighton Manel, but you're dragging me down into the sewer pit pretty quickly here. In my mind, at least. All right, let's go to Neil Big Deal, Eagle Automotive.
Here he comes. Neil Big Deal Marshall will put on a show anytime.
Haley running, doing the navigational duties. And Neil pretty happy with the way that this boat is going. During that conversation in the lunch break, he said, look, we're pretty happy with the way it's going. We're only tweaking and doing minor changes, trying to get a little bit more top-end speed. Now, remembering this boat is doing about 115 kilometres an hour, halfway up the start chute. So this boat really on song at the moment.
Nah, Neil making this look very, very easy at the moment. This hairpin will be the money. Beautiful out of there. A little bit of slip. Might have cost him a 0.5 a second there, but certainly he's making the lap look really good.
Yeah, carry that momentum through, and that is really important. We've seen it, some of these guys coming into that all-important hairpin, backing off really heavily. Might have touched the tyres on the exit of the left-hand round side of Mount Fresh. Didn't slow him down. A little bit knifey up the top, though. That'll cost a little bit. Neil Marshall now.
Great time, 52.539. What a great time. That's his fastest time of the day, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate. And the interesting part about that, untidy coming out of the hairpin, untidy over the Mouth Fresh hairpin on the far side of the track from commentary, and knifed it up the top part of the track. So a little bit to smooth out there and still posted a great time. 2
touch-ups and a bit of slip, but you're right. And to still pull one out of the bag, I'd say he'd be very happy. A little bit of work to do, but he's going to be there right at the end. We've got a couple of quickies to go.
Yeah, we got Ross and Shane Travers. These guys need a GPS unit to find their way around. They've had 2 wrong ways out of 3 qualifying rounds so far. So I said to Ross during that lunch break, you know, are you going to blame your son? He said, absolutely not. It's been my fault. I said, mate, you need to think about that. You're going to answer that question next time, because that's what a navigator's for, to point the finger of blame.
Always a very smooth operator on Roscoe when he's behind the wheel. He just makes it look so easy. I don't know. It doesn't look quick, but when he puts the time down, it just bang, it's done. Got out of the hole there quicker than Neil.
Yeah, he did, absolutely. And interestingly, if you can focus on the steering wheel movements of Ross Travers, there are no unnecessary wheel inputs. He's got his hands set, he knows what the boat's doing, and doesn't soar on that wheel, because that is costly in time. But Ross Travers into P2 with a 53.235, so 0.8 of a second slower than Neil Marshall.
Neil Big Deal Marshall, he'll be going on that trailer at the moment feeling pretty good, but at the moment we've got Cy, Show Us Your Crack, Divin, and in the Novus boat. This will be on. He was very fast earlier on before lunch. Let's see what he can do.
Now, you were advising that this boat needed to be trimmed up a little bit. I'll tell you what, for a brand new package, these guys are driving the wheels off it.
They certainly are, and it'll be interesting to see what they've done on the brake. So, like I say, it was lightning quick just before it. Let's see if he can peel one off.
All right, so Simon Gibbon and Tomo from North Canterbury. Geez, I tell you, the way that Simon Gibbon is going about this is just so good to see. Just full of confidence, full of aggression, and still yet while full of confidence and aggression being smooth. Smooth, he's fast.
This is another Brian Kelly Performance Autos engine from Tauranga, and you can hear it scream. It sounds really good, but in this little bit of slip out of there, but in this stinger passage, he's certainly looking very aggressive and very fast.
Yeah, look, when we saw Simon at Wanaka, there was a couple of issues where he had a few nemesis on the track. Just couldn't quite get it right. We're seeing the same thing here today. There's the one section of the track that is providing problems for him, and it's the hairpin. He's got to get his head around that.
Bringing it home, looking strong. 53.019 into P2, but not enough to knock Neil Big Deal Marshall.
Wow, I tell you, Simon Gibbon coming into this hairpin each and every time, he's got to get through that mentality of getting in there, get past that, and he's going to be breaking into those 52s.
Absolutely, yeah, and you can just hear that slip. He's got it 2 or 3 times, maybe a bit tight on the hairpin entry that time, but hopefully he'll come round. So Ollie Silverton coming out in the PSP Clearview Sprint Tech.
Yeah, this is going to be quick. Ollie during Q2, he wasn't happy about that run at all. They tried some different blades in Q1, Q2 to see what they could get out of the boat, and they said absolutely no way. They're not going back to that setup again. They will, so they move forward in Q3 and they set down the fastest time in the Group A's, and we're looking to expect something very, very similar right here. Jess Sid is the navigator here, of course, the marketing manager from PSP Building Brands. Interesting, during the lunch break, the amount of people into this hairpin, all important, bing, bang. Oh, geez, I tell you, very sharp, but still tiny.
Took a lot of gas out of it going into it. Surprised me a bit. He took the steam pedal off a bit, so we'll see what that costs him or not. And the gassed off there too.
Yeah.
Here we go, top end of the track. Ollie bringing it home. A lot of spray, a lot of water. Still carrying good speed. This is going to be fast.
Ollie Silverton straight to the top of the 51.939. That is going to give him an enormous boost of confidence going into the finals.
Nothing in it, was there? That was brilliant. So, no, great run from Ollie. You know, a lot of splash, a lot of water, really using all the track. So, there you go, the Sprint Tech.
All right, Tim Betts from Auckland now coming off the trailer. Yeah, Tim Betts still coming off the trailer from Auckland. Now, as we speak to a lot of drivers during that lunch break, nearly to a man or to a woman, they said that this rotation here today is one of the best that they've ever raced at this track. It's fast, it can be tight at times, and everybody is just wrapped with it. It was just amazing how certain rotations, people think about it differently.
Oh, it really does make the difference. Oh, Betsy, he's on a bit of a Sunday drive the other way. He's coming into the I believe KV, I'm not too sure. Oh, he's a little bit wide too.
Yeah, I think he's, well, the last run that he had wasn't great, so obviously a newcomer to the sport, so we have seen him go a little bit more aggressive out of that start chute in previous runs. Maybe he's just trying to get some wheel time behind him without breaking the boat. Probably realises he's not in contention to move forward into that top 9.
Actually, I've just been told poor old Betsy hasn't got a time on the board all day, so no wonder he's a bit slower out here.
Right.
If he finishes this and gets one under his belt, he's actually got a chance of slipping in and going forward. And I suppose you want to drive all the way home knowing you got one on the board as well.
Yeah, well, that's right. Walking away from a meeting and actually not posting a time is certainly no good for the confidence moving into the following rounds. But look, Tim Betts, I like the way he's actually given that, he hasn't posted a time earlier. What he's doing now is very, very smart indeed.
Oh, it is. Now, take man off to him. I did wonder when he came out, and that's got him home. And look, he'll be a happy camper. So well done, Tim. Give him a clap, guys. He's come a long way and had a hard day. So good old Betsy.
Waiting for a time to come up there. All right, so we've got a little bit of a problem with the timing there. We'll get back to you with that. We dare say that given that particular run, we won't see Tim Betts featuring in the top 9, but posted a time nonetheless. Now we are stepping out of Group A and moving forward into the methanol sucking monsters that are the unlimited superboats. And wow, what a show these guys have been putting on so far today. Of course, the first boat out will be Ted Seguidis. During the lunch break, I said, Teddy, how you going?